Hello, I am Teacher Lucien with VIPKID, and this is my classroom. What? So, this video is mainly going to focus on not how to get booked. Not. It's more like what are some things that might challenge your bookings. Okay. With VIPKID. And let's be real. I'm going to just go ahead and just get to it. I am African American, and my face is being transported about 9,000 miles over the way to a huge country called China. China, unlike America, is very homogenous in nature. A large amount of them are Asian. Like, there may be an occasional face that is not Asian, but for the most part, they're Asian. Their family is Asian. Their mom is Asian. Their boss is Asian. Their children are Asian. Everything Asian. And then there's America. We are the melting pot in a lot of ways. Everything is here. I love it. I miss New York. I grew up in New York. All of the languages that I heard and learned, I learned a lot of words growing up just for 9 years being in New York. I knew a little Russian. I knew a little German. I knew a little Spanish. I knew a little Jamaican. I knew all these languages because if you walk 10 blocks in any direction in New York, you're going to cover about 5 countries. I didn't even know some Yiddish. Didn't even know it was Yiddish till I moved down here and was using the words and people were looking at me like, what? I was like, schmuck. You are a schmuck. What's that? Look at my face and interpret it. Schmuck. I was a little mouthy as a kid. But any which way, I'm in Atlanta, which is a lot more homogenous than New York. And that's really not homogenous. I mean, Atlanta's not. There's a lot of different faces that you see every day. Now, for language, it's very homogenous. There's like one language you hear everywhere, and that drives me crazy. I love Atlanta, but I miss hearing 7 or 8 different conversations in different languages. And China is now experiencing some of that mixing, but for the most part, not. So what am I saying? I may be the first black face that child and that family has ever seen. That may affect things. That may impact things. Yes, people are in a multicultural world now. We have access to each other. I love the internet. I have friends from other countries because of the internet. It's amazing. I would never have met these people in real life because I wouldn't have had a ticket to go to these places, but I do. And so the kids have slightly more exposure. But unfortunately, what's coming through this, when it comes to this, is not the best. I lived in Germany for 6 years, and I spent 6 years pretty much every day explaining, no, that's not my life. No, that's not what we do. No, I don't talk like that. No, everyone. Because they get whatever the movies were, that's what they see. And since we don't put out a lot of movies that aren't stereotypical of the African American experience, they don't get a lot of exposure. Like, I know everybody hates him, but hashtag having the Cosby show in other countries would be a great thing. Like, that's an exposure to a black family that doesn't fall under the typical stereotypical. So I am an African American teacher teaching Chinese kids, and one of my greatest experiences so far has been the kid that got up, ran, and hid behind the couch. He wouldn't come to the lesson. I do a thing, and it's so cute The kids love it because they start getting excited even if they don't know what it is. They hear my voice. My camera's on because you have to turn your camera on at 00. But I'll have like hello in their name and I'm like, class will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then they see me. Usually it's fun. They're giggling. They're like, he was like, monster! His poor parents tried for the longest to get the baby from behind the couch. And they were trying to tell him I'm not going to eat them, you know. But I think I was the first brown face. And unfortunately, I hadn't joined VIPKID Teacher of Color yet. So I didn't know. I had an inkling of why he was hiding behind there, but I didn't know good practices to how to coax him out. So I was trying, though. I had to be there for 25 minutes or until the parents tap out. So I tried, you know, I got my little, hello, come here. That baby he was done with class. His parents actually tried for 25 minutes, so they didn't cancel class. We went the whole time. But it made me think. I may be the first. So how do I deal with that? And so I do have to thank VIPKID Teacher of Color because they've kind of taught me how to do this as a teaching experience. So if the kid's taken aback, it can become a really great conversation for the kids. So those of you who are applying, I know you're looking on YouTube and most of the videos aren't teachers of color in any form. So, you know, you're like, do they hire? Yes, they do. VIPKID has absolutely no problem hiring you. Okay? They will not have a hang up. The company platform is an international platform. They will hire you. Will I have trouble booking? I'm not sure. But there seems to be a large number of teachers of color who are struggling. They're on the struggle bus. And that's why I'm doing this, because I believe that there's the parents and the LPs have a checklist. And this checklist is what will get you instantly booked from the beginning. And then your talent and skill will keep you booked. If you suck, you're going to eventually tank out of VIPKID. But if you don't fit in this little mold here, this very narrow spacing, there's a chance you may wind up in booking abyss and you may not get booked. All right, so your job is to figure out how to get from this abyss into here. So as a teacher dealing with diverse issues, I am willing to learn how. I did all the workshops and stuff, and because of that, I learned ways to make this work for me. So my background is on fire. I have ways to engage the kids, the characters they see. I actually have them. I make them talk to them. Hello, I'm Meg. You know, so this will pull them in a little bit. I can't be a minimalist. Okay. Hashtag real life. All right. It's not a good idea for a teacher of color to live in the world of minimalism. If you are not instantly booked and having a full book page, you cannot live your life with a white background. You cannot live your life with no props. Okay, there are things that are not accessible to you yet. You'll get them, honestly. If you are a rocking teacher and them parents are referring you to all their friends and family and your booking starts staying full, you can kind of go, you know what, this is the last background. But you have to get there. You got to get your customers first. So be careful when you're on the Facebooks and listening to people talk about their being a minimalist. You have to get in to this very narrow area to get booked, and that's your job. I want to be in the room where it happens, quoting the Alexander Hamilton soundtrack, and I can't get in the room where it happens with a white wall and my name stuck up there. It's not going to happen. Okay, so listen to them. It's good. The minimalist will give you an idea of what they do in their class to make it work, because they have to work. If they're a minimalist, they got to do something else to keep the bookings happening. Now, it could be they look like a dang model and all they got to do is just show up and be pretty for 25 minutes. But that's usually not a teacher's life. It does not work. Teaching has its own way of sorting you out. So a pretty face is not going to work only. So those you with those kind of feelings and emotions in yourself, let that go. It may be the initial push for their booking, but if they keep the bookings going, they've got something. They can't just be, I'm gorgeous, so you'll just book me again to look at me for 25 minutes and never learn anything. They're not. So stop the hating. That's hateful. Cut that out. So as a teacher of color, I'm suggesting you get this background on fire, and I'm suggesting one more thing. You put these two things, you put these in your on your computer. I'm not kidding. Don't play around. This goes on your phone. Keep it on your phone. You see those icons? Have them. I've got Bitmoji, VIPKid Teach, WeChat, Weibo, International, and Google Translate. You got to do a little more to get a lot more. Okay? It's okay. When you need to have it out and you tired of working harder than everybody else to the left and right of you, just come on, sit down. We have some tea. We can hash it out. Be a private conversation. I understand the frustrations, but that's what it is. That's how it is. I also take advantage of my platform. Now that my dumb behind realizes that this is what's happening, I've started using things like my rewards and what I show people as a way for them to be exposed more to people of various colors and backgrounds. So one of my rewards, there's a baby reward. It's really cute. You have all these baby things, and you stick it on for the baby. You had a star behind them. Okay, it's called Find a Star. And then as the kid does something, you take it off and you're like, hey, you did this. And they may find a star, they may not. Okay. So most of the babies have been the Gerber babies. Well, recently Gerber has even made a change to their platform. And I don't know if you've seen Gerber babies, but there are some babies of color now. Now they know what I looked like when I was this young. I had a guy in Scotland one time ask me if I was born like this. He'd never seen a black person. Oh my God, I love Jock. He was hilarious. He was a big flirt. And I was just chilling, watching the water. I had snuck off the beaten path in Scotland. I was in Edinburgh, and I wander. I'm from New York. I don't care. I know where to go and where not to go. And I went up on this little cliff, and I was looking over the lake, just looking at the beauty that is Scotland. And Jock was there because he was doing his daily stroll. I found out so much about Jock. He lived right around the river, etc. He told me so much. But he'd never seen a black person, and he asked me if I was born this color. Because in his head, he thought I was born this way, and then eventually grew to be this color. Guys, that's what you're dealing with. Serious. It's not racism. They don't know who you are. They've never been exposed to you. Take that chip and put it in some salsa and get it off your shoulder. Okay? So you may just have to figure out how to communicate in a way to get them to see you. Oh, black babies. Didn't know what those look like. And my reward is sitting right over here. So, hey, it's still a baby. Boom. So, yes, VIPKid hires people of color in the New York second. No, the parents may not know what a black person looks like, and you may be their first person in their living room with their child. And the children are a little less inhibited than the parents, so they may run for the hills. Or you may have an older kid who has learned to, keep those emotions to themselves, but then you ask them questions and it comes up that their negative correlation relates to someone of darker features. So, who are the criminals? They're black. Okay. You can go ahead and put that chip on your shoulder and walk with it. You can put that chip in some salsa and enjoy a meal. Make it a teaching moment. You may be the first. Hey, own the first. Do it. All right. So this is Lucy with VIPKid again. And I'm purposely doing these videos to kind of put the diversity out there. I'll get my face life together and everything. I'm just tired today. But I wanted to get these ideas out. I might reshoot this video, I might not, because I kind of also like being real online. And a lot of people they spend a lot of time with this and less time with this. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to be real. So if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the chat. And I hope you do join VIPKID, and I hope you enjoy being your first experience. And if you're someone who's not having to deal with diversity and you apply, I hope you enjoy it as well. You may still wind up in booking no zone, and some of these tips could help you get out of booking no zone. All right. So I'll see you later.